FPUC Retro. The big push is underway to put it in the fourth stimulus package. There's a lot of things being put in the fourth stimulus package. Among this, the unpaid FPUC from July to December of last year. But what is FPUC Retro? How do you get it? What's UI? What's PUA? And how do you raise your benefits even retroactively? In this throwback video, I explain UI, PUA, FPUC, and also enhance unemployment benefits. Enjoy this throwback video on unemployment.
As LWA reaches nearly its last week of benefits, will you get relief with FPUC 2.0, or will you have no more enhanced unemployment benefits until next year? Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is LALATE. Hope you're good and safe. This is Afternoon to LALATE, part of our 2-hour programming block every day, starting at 3:30 with the check, then hazard pay, then FPUC, and finally rent. Join us every day for 3.5 hours of programming on schedule here at LALATE. And if there's ever a day to like and subscribe to this channel and this video, today is the day. Really incredible news out of California that's sending out $900 stimulus. If you call it stimulus, as I generally don't like to call it, $900 LWA checks today. But there's another twist. The twist is, will these checks and the money coming shortly thereafter be the final payments you'll see for enhanced unemployment benefits until the end of this year? Across the country, most states are more farther ahead on LWA payments than California. Those states are generally at week 6 of payments or week 7 of payments for LWA. The question is, what's next? That is really the key issue. States like Arizona, for example, have paid 6 weeks of LWA, which is absolutely incredible, money from FEMA, and that they said they have a little bit of money for week 7, but we really don't know if they'll pay week 7, whether they'll take a loan, which they have suggested they would do, to pay the remainder of week 7, or simply just not pay week 7 and return the money back to FEMA. Either way, if they do or they don't pay week 7, that will be your last week of enhanced unemployment benefits as we sit here right now. Yesterday, the Republicans in the Senate introduced their new bill, which provides FPUC 2.0. It's great news. It's $300 a week. It's to December 31st. But if the bill isn't passed, you don't get the money. There's no way to actually get the money by act of that bill. So what does that mean? It means ostensibly that unless something else happens, which certainly can happen, because it's like at this point everything seems to be happening, we can't even predict these strange twists and turns, your last week of LWA this week at week 7 could be your last week of enhanced unemployment benefits until something changes in these stimulus debates. The bill being introduced yesterday that provides enhanced unemployment benefits of $300 a week all the way to December 31st will likely pass the Senate. The vote for it is apparently tomorrow, but it's expected to die shortly thereafter. And with no progress on the Democrats' bill, then what's going to happen? We simply don't know. There's always the possibility of another executive order for LWA, but where would the money come from? And then there's always the surprise that maybe there's more money sitting on the sides. More about that in a second. But as we sit here right now, what my job is always to give you is financial security and financial informative analysis as to what you should predict. You should look at your calendar and you should look at week 7 for LWA and consider that you will not be getting LWA or 300 or FPUC 2.0 or whatever you call it at week 7 currently, and that you may have to wait at least a month until something changes in the stimulus battleground until you actually see the money. The problem is the following. States that applied early to FEMA are getting incredible sums of money. So this is great news. They're getting 6 weeks of benefits. We absolutely know that. And the last states that applied are getting 5 weeks of FEMA. So this is also incredibly great news. So we're going to land somewhere between 5 to 7 weeks of FEMA LWA money, no matter what state you're in. This is great news. What's not so great news is what happens after that week, after that last week. It's also not quite clear how quickly you'll be getting this money. More about that in a second. But what I need you to know is that when you approach week 7, since CARES Act 1 expired late July, do not assume there will be another round of $300 of LWA or FPUC ready to pay you that week, because there simply won't be at that time. Now, when could FPUC 2.0 be approved? At the moment, there is nothing on tap that suggests where FPUC will be approved. I'm not going to sit here and say, I can predict that it's just not happening. This is not like Mark Meadows or Steve Mnuchin gave us all those representations last week that the bill is going to be introduced and it's going to be passed in 1 week. Well, I mean, today Mark Meadows was out saying, I don't even know if it's going to get approved. Wait a second, Mark. You said last week it's going to get approved in a week. Then Steve Mnuchin says, my top priority is the CR today. You said last week his top priority was getting out stimulus checks and doing FPUC 2.0. So it's unquite clear how much push there's going to be behind even the cabinet members to get this FPUC 2.0 out and get it out quickly. So will it come by executive order? Executive order for another round of FPUC 2.0 always seems possible. The problem with these numbers is a couple things. One, we don't know how much money it costs to do these things. LWA, we simply didn't know how much it was going to cost to do LWA, and the reason why those can confuse you is because it's dependent upon a couple factors. One, how many people were unemployed that the states had to pay out. Two, how many states were going to apply for it. And clearly when FEMA got LWA initially, they thought that all the states were going to apply, and that's why they said, we maybe don't even have 2 weeks of benefits for you. Well, they saw that only about 50% of the states applied, and so they had 5 to 6 weeks, or sometimes 6.5 weeks, of benefits for all the states. So if we did a FPUC 2.0 by executive order again, because the president found some other money sitting around, would there be enough money to do it? And how many weeks? And how would it work? Ultimately, FPUC 2.0 and LWA has been really a strange sort of like cat and mouse situation where it's like, I'm going to get it to you, and I found the money, and here it is. Let me send it out, and then there's more money, and there's actually less states that want it. It's been a lot of really, everything has been positive about it because it keeps on getting better because a lot of states didn't want it. But it makes people very confused, and rightfully so, because you don't know if you're going to get that week until they finally announce it. And here's an announcement minutes ago from California that says they're sending out payments right today. Now, California has 5 weeks of FPUC or LWA to pay out. How many weeks are they paying out today? They're paying out 3 weeks. Okay. Why? Can we just get this done once and for all? California will be sending out $900. Okay. That will be going out, covering 3 weeks of benefits retroactive to the week ending August 1st. The state says that they're going to be paying 5 weeks, but for now they're paying the first 3 weeks. And it could take a couple weeks to get the benefits out. Very vague sentence. Now, close to 200,000 unemployed people who are on the EDD, who are in the EDD website, California Unemployment Assistance website, and approved, won't get the $900 because they made less than $100 in state benefits, the threshold required by the federal government. In California, unemployment claims continue to rise and have been really quite bad. The additional 236,000 people who applied for jobless benefits last week brings it to almost 40% of California's workforce. Yes, 40% of California is unemployed, and it's just insane. So, I mean, it's good that California is getting the money out. It will be 3.1 million California residents will get these payments, an initial $900 payment. But then you'll get presumably the next two checks of $300 separately thereafter. Now, in the case of California, which clearly is paying the money slower than other states, you could actually get your last week of LWA about the time that a new FPUC 2.0 comes in. But the question is, when is that? As we sit here, the big question is, when will FPUC 2.0 ever become law? Or will it go by the path of executive order also? Here are the factors to consider. First, this channel has been reporting that executive orders are possible because there's a lot of money out there and the president has authority. First, I detailed last night and I detailed over the weekend that, and no one else is reporting this except me, that there's upwards of about $200 to $250 billion of additional funds sitting out there that has not been used during the pandemic, that was allocated for the pandemic for emergency relief, that the president could use. The problem is, as I sit here right now, I don't know how much money it costs to pay FPUC or how much it costs to pay LWA. FPUC 2.0 is sort of different than LWA. If the president was going to do another round of LWA, it's not a 50-state program because not all the states want to participate in it. So if he did another round of LWA, how much money does it cost? We just don't know. We're not being told this data by FEMA. We're not being told this data by the president. How much money is sitting around? We do know that. I've detailed that for you. So is there enough money sitting around to cover it for another round of LWA if he did it by executive order? Well, there's certainly enough to send one check. 2 weeks of checks? 3 weeks of checks? Don't know. Simply don't know. And maybe we don't have to know, because FEMA ultimately said this time around with LWAs, we'll just pay the first few states that apply, and if you're late to apply, tough luck. Maybe that'll happen again. It was not the priority of the president to ensure that every state got LWA or that every person got LWA. He just wanted to get it out fastest to the first people who could get in and apply for it. And if you want it, go get it, states. And that's what Arizona and Missouri and states did. So could he do it? Yes. Could he legally do it? Yes. He does not need Treasury. He does not need the money to come out from Treasury. This is separate money that's sitting around. Would he need an act of Congress to approve it? No. Could he do it by executive order? Yes. Have there been rumors, and again, rumors, not Willis, rumors out there that stimulus could be coming by executive order this weekend? Yes. They're rumors, gossip. But could it be for LWA? Yes. And so as you sit here, you wonder about a lot of stuff. One, will he do it? Hard to say. Can he do it? Yes. Will he do it? Don't know. Does he have enough funds to do it? Absolutely. How soon should he do it? He should probably do it in the next week or 2 weeks because it benefits him politically the sooner he gets it out, because it does take time to get the money to people. You have to understand that LWA, as you see in California, they're just paying out LWA now. I mean, LWA has been around for a couple of weeks now. So you want the money to be in the hands of the electorate if they're going to court their vote by getting out the LWA 2.0 as fast as possible. So as we sit here, is FPUC 2.0 dead? At the moment, we don't see a path to where it's going to become a law. That's the truth of the matter. There's a potential for LWA 2.0, absolutely. And would it be retroactive? Sure. But you would want it not to be retroactive. You would want it to be approved now so you could literally just start picking up right exactly when we're about to run out of week 7 or week 6, depending on what state you're in. And that's really the good news. But as we sit here, we're just confused by people like Mnuchin and Meadows, who I've been detailing in both videos today, that really just, they seem to not grasp that they tell us something. They tell us one thing in 1 week, and the next week they tell us something totally different. Ultimately, the people that I have the most faith in, because they're always right, is Wall Street. Wall Street analysts all morning long on the morning news channel said that if this political race is very close, this president's not going to sit around and not give you stimulus. And when they mean stimulus, they mean all the different instruments of stimulus. And they said if the race is tight, he's going to have to send out stimulus. Sitting around and saying the economy is great is not going to work. Yesterday, Larry Kudlow appeared before cameras in the White House in the press briefing room and said it's a V-shaped recovery. It's not a V-shaped recovery. The economy is not going right back up and we're going right back to normal and we're not. And Larry Kudlow can do as much of that as Larry Kudlow wants, but no one's buying it. Certainly the voters aren't buying it. And so what Wall Street is saying is that voters want to see stimulus in their pockets, have to have stimulus in their pockets, have to get that stimulus in their hands before they go to vote. Otherwise, the president's toast. It's just not going to happen. The new polls out today shows Trump behind 3 percentage points in Arizona, the first state to apply for LWA, and shows that Trump's numbers are actually, 4 percentage points back, shows that the numbers are actually worse, that it was only a 2-point race just recently. In Michigan, it shows that Trump is now 6 points back and was only that spread was narrow, was actually not as bad just a few weeks ago. North Carolina shows shows Trump improving by 1 percentage point. Pennsylvania shows it shows a 3-point race as opposed to a 4-point race, shows him improving, and Wisconsin shows it as a 5-point race now when it was a 6-point race. So Trump is improving, but if you believe this poll, and we all disagree with polls. There's a poll that can tell you anything they want to tell. So, it says that it's a close race. I mean, it's a close race. I don't think we can dispute it. It's a close race, and if you're in a close race, why would you not send out stimulus? Do you really think that Americans are just going to go in the polls and say, yeah, the economy's doing so great, 40% of California is unemployed, yeah, we're doing so great? No, it's not going to happen. It just doesn't work that way. So, as viewers always ask me, what do I think is going to happen? I really think these things are going to change very quickly. You would have to be dumb, deaf, and blind to think that voters are going to vote for you if you don't give them hazard pay, you don't give them stimulus checks, you don't give them FPUC, you don't give them anything. And yeah, we can sit back and say, it was Congress's fault that you didn't get it. But voters just don't understand the whole dynamic of Congress and Senate did this and the House. They just don't care. They just say, I didn't get the money. And you were the black person in there and I didn't get the money. I don't want you back. That's ultimately what's at stake. And so, among Democrats, 61% say that discrimination is a key issue, but among GOP voters, 58% say law and order is a big issue. Why aren't you paying hazard pay to law and order to frontline workers? It's going to be quite problematic. So as we come up on rent right after this video, what you need to know that you need to look at your calendar. And you need to look at where you are on LWA payments if you got them. If you did not get them because you're not qualified for the $100 threshold, and we're waiting for that $100 threshold to be gone in FPUC 2.0, there's a worry now that you may not get FPUC 2.0, as this video has reported. There's a hope that you would get LWA 2.0, but I don't know if LWA 2.0 would get rid of the $100 threshold as well. You should certainly be on Twitter and certainly be on Facebook and certainly be on social media, tweeting the president, tweeting the cabinet. If you're going to do another round of LWA, make sure there's no $100 threshold in it. But for everyone who's on LWA, this is what you need to do. You need to look at the calendar and say, oh, how many weeks until I'm running out of LWA? Because at that point, I want you to be on high alert about your financial status because you may not get another week of FPUC coming in by 2.0 at that point. And all we have to hope is that there's an executive order for LWA coming right after that. Coming up next is rent. Boy, if there's a day to like and share this video, do that. Go to the front of the channel, hit the subscribe button. There's a red button with a bell next to it. When you are subscribed, I will see that there's a red bell next to your name when you comment on this channel. If you're not having a red bell next to your name, go into the pinned comment to this video. It has a description about how you can unsubscribe and subscribe so you're a follower of this channel. New surprise, if we reach the 250,000 subscribers within 48 hours, I will do a special report that I have never aired. It's lost footage. It was a 100,000 subscriber special I taped several weeks ago on location at the beach that talked about behind the scenes footage and behind the scenes details of this channel you've never seen before. I'll release it if we reach 250,000 subscribers in the next 48 hours, which is about 7,000-ish subscribers. Let's see if we can do it. Also, like this video. It helps the video appear higher in the algorithm because videos like this are helpful because they're informational and they give you a lot of great stuff to ensure you know what's going on with FPUC 2.0 and LWAL 2.0 as well. Coming up next is Rent. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and save LA for more.